What's up, guys? This is As Josh Sees It coming at you for a special vlog, hitting you up from downtown Dallas, Texas today, and we are going to be talking about tips and tricks for riding your motorcycle in downtown. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, man, I would avoid downtown at all costs with my motorcycle, but the reality is a lot of people don't have the luxury of avoiding downtown. Some people, motorcycles are their only transportation. Whatever the case may be, chances are if you have a motorcycle, at some point you're going to end up riding in downtown traffic, and what I wanted to do is give you some tips and tricks in order to do so effectively, safe, and just keep you really level-headed. So one of the first tips that I wanted to cover is just spending as little time in downtown as possible. Seems like a no-brainer, right? But basically the cool part about most downtowns is there are tons of entry points into coming into downtown. So what that looks like for me when I'm riding from my house each morning, there's a lot of different ways to come into where I need to go. Some ways are faster, some ways are slower, but I started realizing that the best way for me to come into downtown, even though it took a little bit longer to get there, is the way that allowed me to spend as least time as possible in downtown. So what that looks like is I kind of take a little bit of a roundabout way from a freeway that kind of loops the edge of downtown, and it allows me to at least keep moving to where when I actually have to enter the streets, you'll see even during this moto vlog that I'm not in downtown all that long. I would encourage you guys to plan ahead and just figure out what route is going to have you in downtown the longest. Another tip is to know your city. Know what people are doing. I've been in various downtowns where if you are in the right lane, chances are you are going to get stuck from people turning right. Or I've been in other downtowns where they didn't believe in left-hand turn lanes, so if you were in the left lane, inevitably people were going to stop and try and turn left. And so just knowing how your downtown is laid out, what lanes you need to be in, and when it's best to ride in downtown. For instance, right now it's 7:47 a.m. I know that if I'm downtown and I'm weaving in and out of traffic and trying to go to work before 8 a.m. and I'm able to get into the office at 8 a.m., I really miss most of the bad traffic. Now, if I were to try to come into downtown at 8 a.m., the traffic is horrible, it's stressful, and so just knowing what times work best for your downtown is super important. Brings me to another tip. I'm stopped at a red light right now. It's so important for you guys. Please listen to this tip. One of the #1 tips for riding a motorcycle downtown is to never jump the gun and just speed away as soon as the light turns green. You guys have all seen it, especially in downtowns. People coming from the other way oftentimes are going to run yellow, run red lights by even a couple seconds. And so for motorcycles, there's always this tendency to just jump off the line. Not a good idea in a downtown. Just approach the intersection slowly, look both ways, make sure there's no knuckleheads coming. That way, you know, you're not getting yourself into a T-bone situation. And, you know, time and time again, I'll kind of hang back at the intersection for a second, and sure enough, car will come barreling by. Okay, so here's another tip for coming into downtown. It's know your route, right? So what this might look like for you riding in downtown, pulling out one of those old maps or looking it up on Google Maps or using your favorite application, mapping software, whatever it is, and just know where you need to be going before you're going. There's nothing more unsafe than trying to figure out on your phone right here where you're going while you're on the road. So have a general idea of where you're going and also know some backup routes. For instance, I'm coming on the freeway heading into downtown Dallas right now. You'll notice that I'm in the second to the right lane. Now the reason I'm not in the fast lane, even though the cars are moving faster over there, is because I know in order to make this freeway interchange to get off at my exit up here, that being in the second lane is the best lane for me to be in, so that I'm not darting in and out of traffic trying to change lanes last minute. It just helps me to be safer. And again, I looked this route up ahead of time. I've ridden this route on Saturday mornings when it's not as busy out to get an idea of the route that I'm taking. And also, like I mentioned, have a backup route. The one thing you can count on in downtown traffic is that there are going to be detours, whether that's from an accident, whether that's from construction. Things are going to happen. roads are going to get shut down, and if you don't know a backup route, you're in the same exact situation where you're trying to figure out an alternate way while you're on the road. Your attention is more focused on you finding an alternate way than on your surroundings, making you unsafe. So finding an alternate way is super important for riding motorcycles in downtown. And another important tip to riding motorcycles downtown is just simply to be patient. You know, there's no real getting around it. If you're riding a motorcycle downtown, you're gonna get stuck in traffic. There's gonna be delays. There's gonna be an accident in front of you. There's gonna be unexpected construction. You name it, it's gonna happen. And so one of the things that really helps me the most in riding my motorcycle downtown is just to be patient and to know that, hey, things are gonna happen. It's gonna be hot. Your legs are gonna feel like they're on fire. And that's just kind of the game. We're super fortunate to be on motorcycles, and even though it's gonna suck from time to time, it's so important just to maintain patience. I've seen time and time again where newer riders will just become super impatient, or you know, they'll become irritable because it's too hot, and you know, they'll try and do stupid things, whether it's split lanes or ride up on sidewalks or try and go down back alleys, you name it. It's in those times that we're irritable and impatient that the likelihood for getting in an accident goes up tenfold. So one of the best things that I do is just to try and maintain patience and just take practical steps, right? If it's hot and you're stuck in traffic downtown, do something like opening the vent on your face mask, or maybe you don't need the super crazy Moto gloves. Maybe it's investing in the right kind of gear for summer, and you know, some gloves like these built wells that are just, you know, maybe not the most padded in the world, but they allow you to breathe. Like for instance, right now it's probably 95 degrees with 50-60% humidity. It sucks out here. Yeah, it's a little hot, but I have appropriate gear on. I know some people are gonna, you know, probably see this video and be like, oh Josh, you know, you should be in full leathers and all that stuff. That's just not me. To be honest, I'm one of those people that gets really irritable when I'm hot, and so I know that about myself, and I don't wear hot clothes during the summertime. I choose to wear a short sleeve. I wear some basic Moto gloves like this. I have a full face mask helmet on, but for me, that's how I stay cool, and that's how I help myself to be patient while riding downtown. Another huge tip and trick when you're riding downtown is something that you hear all the time in a lot of other motorcycle videos, is simply to act like you're invisible, right? So that means that if I'm looking at this car up to my left, this Dodge Charger, I'm gonna bet that he's not gonna see me, that I'm directly in his blind spot right now. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna be directly on his bumper. I'm gonna hang back a little bit and let there be a car length between me and the white truck in front of me, so that if he decides to quickly change lanes, you know, he's not going to directly interfere into my path. I'm not going to have to do any sort of hard braking maneuvers to avoid colliding with him. I ride all the time like I am invisible to other drivers. Confession time. Honestly, I ride motorcycles almost every day of my life, but when I'm in a car and I'm driving, there's a lot of times where motorcycles sneak up on me, right? And I know it's not the most popular thing for someone that rides motorcycles to admit, but honestly, I don't see motorcycles a lot of times when I'm in a car. So if me as a motorcycle rider doesn't see other motorcycle riders, how much more unlikely is it that someone who only drives cars is going to miss a motorcycle rider on the freeway or in traffic or downtown? So it's just super important to always act like you're invisible, act like they don't know you're there, because chances are they're not going to. And when you start riding like that and just really start practicing defensive riding maneuvers, and you know, not directly tailing people and leaving some room and anticipating it and just really knowing how to ride your lane, you eliminate the chances that you're going to be involved in an accident, and you're just going to be a lot safer. So here, for instance, is a situation like I was talking about. It looks like there's something going on up ahead. There's a police vehicle that has a couple cars pulled over to the shoulder, and because of it, there's a lot of traffic. And so basically I have a couple options here. If I were to be turning right up there, I would need an alternate way to get back to my house. Thankfully, I'm going straight on this highway, but always have an alternate route planned. And then number two, it just goes back to that tip that I said earlier, and just you have to be patient when riding in downtown areas. There's gonna be things that are gonna come up, things are gonna happen, there's gonna be traffic, and that's just the name of the game. And when you expect there to be unexpected detours, you're not as flustered in the moment. You know, these things are gonna pass, you're gonna get through them, you're gonna get home. There might be a little bit of discomfort, but at the end of the day, again, it's stinking fun riding motorcycles. I do it because I love it, and it just helps to not make the detours that bad. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this content today. Again, I just wanted to share some quick tips and tricks for riding a motorcycle downtown, regardless of where you're at, whether you're in Los Angeles, Dallas, Austin, Minneapolis, Chicago, New York, wherever the case may be. I hope that you're able to apply some of these motorcycle tips and tricks, and I hope you're able to ride more effectively in your downtown environment. Hey, if there's any other things that you maybe think I should have covered that I didn't, or even some stuff that I talked about that you may be not necessarily agreed with, drop a comment below. I'd love to talk to you guys more about it. Anyways, this is As Josh Sees It, coming at you guys from downtown Dallas. Talk to you later.